Teach me, well, spirituality is a personal and community system of trying to comprehend one's relationship with God, trying to figure out one's purpose in life, and trying to achieve God consciousness, which is reunion with your Creator. That's spirituality. Religion is a system of psychological control and economic exploitation by parasites in the community who simply want to live off other people's money without earning it. And so they manipulate you into believing that only if you believe in this particular religious narrative that can't be proven, can't be scientifically validated. Jesus Christ don't have a cemetery. There's no gravestone. Moses has no gravestone. Muhammad ibn Abdullah has no gravestone. Noah, Jacob, where is the grave for these religious leaders? I'm not arguing that they don't exist.
Oh, yeah, you know that.
You just fucked up. Don't exist. What I'm saying is, your religious beliefs cannot be scientifically verified. You understand me? Spirituality doesn't concern itself with religion.
You know you just fucked up, right? Been watching your little interview for like a while, and 27 minutes now. And I've been listening. And you had your little here and there's, and you had to fucking take it there, didn't you? Didn't you? Now you gotta get it. See, I was gonna do this to you.
Years, you gonna have a whole class of Chinese Nigerians, Chinese Jamaicans, you follow me?
And bury you with your own words, motherfucker.
But the mentality of their father is colonization all over again. And I think, when we talk about this whole snow bunny crisis, I think Caribbean governments and African governments need to pass laws that make it illegal for foreigners and immigrants to come in their country and intentionally mass impregnate the black women. They're doing it. You can tell why they're doing it. You can tell. We're going to do this so we can rule this land through our mixed race Chinese African children. Something needs to be done about that, because if you have poor African women looking for a better life, I understand. I'm going to have this Chinese man's baby because I've already been brainwashed into thinking Chinese are smarter than Africans. You feel me?
Yeah.
So the women are going to do it. Here's the issue with the Caribbean and Africa. Any country that allows immigrants and foreigners into their land who show up with wealth, who can invest and build, if you do not empower the native Jamaican, the native Nigerian to build in their native land, you can count the amount of years. You can count the years
the control you're gonna
before
have.
the Chinese will own it.
Yeah.
Very good
You
point.
can count the years before they'll own Nigeria. You follow?
Yeah, facts.
I'm the president. He's a foreigner. He has his own money. You don't have nothing. You live here. You was born here. This is your land. But he's coming with a line of credit from China. You have nothing. If I don't empower you as a government to build your own, it's a matter of time that he'll own it. You see the same thing in South Africa. When I was last in South Africa,
Skip ahead of this, you little, cause
Nigerians
you
or
make some
anyone
very
else
good points.
to push back and challenge them, you've basically sold your island to them already.
All right, but Umar, makes sense. But you don't believe in voting, so how?
No, I believe in voting when I have something to vote for.
Okay.
The issue with electoral politics and black people, whether it's America, Africa, or the Caribbean, is we often have nothing to vote for. And the reason we often have nothing to vote for is this party and its so-called antagonists, this party, are both financed by that Chinese man. They're both financed by that white man.
Yeah.
They're both financed by that East Indian. So they got everybody running around Jamaica, who you going to vote for? Running around the United States of America, who you going to vote for? Running around South Africa, who you going to vote for? When at the end of the day, no matter who wins, he wins because he financed both campaigns. I'm not against voting, but I will only vote when you give me a reason.
Okay.
good point. I'll give you a reason. Did you know by law that the party over there and the party over there, they get to bring their representatives? Did you? Yeah, you know that. You just explained the whole thing and about how whoever's smart enough to fund both of them you know, did you know the people get to put their own guy up? I'm just some stupid black guy from the projects that believes in Jacob, in Isaac, in Moses, in Emmanuel, nigga. And how the fuck do I know that? Why won't you say it? There's something to vote for. You could be that guy.
Let's take voting in America. Black people in America never get anything when they vote. So how do they motivate us to vote if we never get nothing when we do?
Great point you're about to make.
Fear. Black people are the only constituency in this country who vote out of fear. In other words, I'm not voting to stop police brutality because they're not going to stop it. I'm not voting to change mass incarceration. They're not going to change it. I'm not voting to fix the schools. They're never going to fix them. So what you voting for? Because I'm afraid of what Trump might do. You see that? That's how we vote. Fear. Now, when the Jews go to the polls, when the Latinos go to the polls, when the Arabs, the East Indians, the Anglo-Saxons go to the polls, they're going for concessions. I'm getting something out of this vote. I'm getting something that we already agreed upon before Election Day. Black people are getting nothing. We vote out of fear. Our motivation is fear. Joe Biden may do nothing for you, but Donald Trump will be worse.
Very
See how that
true.
works? This is how they
Fear
get
tactics.
The black man is the only one in the voting line voting because he's scared of what the other man might do to him.
The other people got
Very good point. I just explained how we can pick our own guy and put him up there.
they already got something coming to them already.
Absolutely.
Coming.
Absolutely.
It could be a regular guy. It ain't got to be nobody they
and,
pick.
Even the first question.
It's
was
the law.
Jamaica, right? Mm-hmm. I was watching in the Africa. I was watching something the other day on live.
Test scores and grades.
Okay. All right.
If they succeed, and mind you, the white man is funding this. So this is a white-Chinese alliance to gentrify the black student off the PWI's campus.
Damn.
If they succeed, the amount of black students at the PWI, which is already small, is going to get smaller. You're going to see a situation where the only black people at a white school are going to be the athletes, right?
Why? Why would they keep a bunch of dummies? Ask yourself that. Remember the beginning when I was playing about how like when I was playing and he was saying the Chinese gonna have their men go over there and impregnate the women. That way they could have little babies and they could form little areas, and then by law, because of, the Bible says you can't take someone's land. And man figured out, well, if I have a baby with you, the land is tied to your bloodline. So then I'll be on your land, whether you like it or not. I wonder why they keep those big brolic niggas around. I wonder what our land was. How'd they get it? How'd they get in?
The amount of Chinese at the PWI.
How'd they get in?
50, 60. And practically a probationary white group that can be used to keep black people in their place. Just like with COVID, you're not going to tell me that the Chinese government and the American government didn't work together to release COVID.
I don't know.
You can't tell me that these two countries can't stand each other, but y'all was able to get along long enough to get that Wuhan lab up and popping and get that COVID running around. I'll be honest with you. I think America, I think the white man and the yellow man have already decided they're going to take the black man's land. I believe this. And I believe to a large extent, in public, China and America are acting like they don't like each other. They don't like each other. But when it comes to Africa, they're acting like they don't like each other when they really have a deal behind closed doors. You understand me? I believe America and China has already met and said, listen, if these Negroes are going to keep on letting us in and doing what we want, y'all take these countries, we going to take these countries to prevent a World War III. I really believe that.
Can we both agree that you wasn't around when the Bible was written? Nor was I. You know what my father said? My father said a whole bunch of people, a confederacy of nations would come together to rule over Israel. And they would go on ship to all their enemies.
The Chinese man and the American white man, they're working together. Just like they're doing with the Harvard lawsuit and the Carolina lawsuit, they're working together.
Gotcha. So I'm saying, how do you think we as blacks get it back to the Black Wall Street days and those type of times?
Mm-hmm. Well, you change nothing for African people until you...
Don't evade the question. Answer the fucking question.
Change the consciousness of African people. Our biggest issue...
He didn't say Africans.
These countries, we gonna take these countries to prevent a world war.
He said,
I really believe
us.
The Chinese man and the American white man, they're working together. Just like they're doing...
How do we get back?
In the Carolina lawsuit, they're working together.
Gotcha. So I'm saying, how do you think we as blacks get it back to
We!
the Black Wall Street days and those type of times?
Mm-hmm.
But
well,
you say...
You change nothing for African people until you change the consciousness of African people. Our biggest issue is our psychology. We are multicultural to a fault. We have been brainwashed by black religion into believing putting your race first is a sin against God. We're the only people whose religion is totally separate from their political struggle.
I won't disagree with that.
The Jew can go into a synagogue and pray to his wife.
I won't disagree with your rant. He asked you a fucking question. What do we do to get back on board? I'll answer it, because you won't. We do what our fucking forefathers did. We do what the people from Black Wall Street did. We put our money together and we stop giving it to everybody. We get our little workers and shit, and they stop working for other people. And they start working for each other. You know how that happens? We start moving next to each other. Well, there's a big place called Atlanta. There's a whole lot of black people there. There's a lot of places black people are. They're just not working together. That's the answer. What you're saying, I don't know.
White God. And when he's done praying to his white God in the synagogue, he can sit around and talk about how to get the rest of your money right there in the synagogue. When the Arab is done making salat on Friday, he can stay in the masjid and talk about how to open up a few more 7-Elevens.
I get what you're saying.
Do you understand?
It makes sense.
Separation between worship of God and political economic empowerment.
You're saying this.
Go to one of these churches in Miami and say we want to have a conversation.
You're saying combine the bank
about how to bring back
and the Lord. I understand.
Party accountable to black people. How to make the police accountable to the black community. You know what they're going to tell you? We don't allow political conversation in here. This is the Lord's house. You come here to pray. You want to talk that black stuff? Go down the street.
And that's why I made GMB. So when the ones that got the business talk, they want to know about the Lord, and those fucking charlatans don't want to give it to them because they want to actually do something. That's why the Lord made me.
They don't do that in the Jewish synagogue. They don't do that in the Arab man. Nobody told them the Choctaws own African slaves. Nobody told them to...
Oh, this the point. Another one. Pissed me off.
Talk that black stuff, go down the street. They don't do that in the Jewish synagogue. They don't do that in the Arab...
Come on.
How can I serve a God that doesn't allow me to organize for black power in the name of that God?
He does.
And so religion has hypnotized us.
The Lord said They took your fucking name. You're not black. And when you reclaim your fucking name like a man, when you follow these laws and be a man, I'll take favor on you and I'll destroy your enemies. But first you gotta get together and be good. Stop fucking faking. Stop calling yourself black.
Into a multiculturalism that is going to put black people in a state of perpetual genocide if we don't do something soon. Being ashamed to be black, hating being black, not wanting to.
I don't want to be black. By law, that makes me 3/5 of a man, nigga. Being Israel makes me a god among you little ass niggas.
Be black. What do you see going on right now? This whole identity crisis we got in the black consciousness community. Negroes hate being black so much, they wake up one day, I'm a Native American.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm a Cherokee.
Yeah.
I'm a Choctaw.
Yeah.
I'm a Seminole.
Yep.
About to spit real shit.
Cherokees own African slaves. Nobody told them the Choctaws own African slaves.